Good morning, everyone. The topic of my presentation is going to be on SDTM data. We're going to be providing you perspectives from applications that have gone through JumpStart. I'm currently clinical lead of the JumpStart service that we provide for reviewers in CDER. So I know you've heard about the JumpStart service in conferences in previous years, but I'm just going to provide two slides that provide just a general overview of the service. So we assess and report. There's multiple purposes of the service and multiple goals and benefits for the reviewer. So first, we assess and report on whether data is fit for purpose. So assess the quality, tool loading ability, and the wireless access accessibility. Wait, so there's, do I just accept? Oh, I guess you don't see this, but it's not showing, it's just blocking the slide. Thank you. So, okay. So in addition to the quality and tool loading ability and analysis ability, that provides benefits for the reviewer in terms of understanding their data, which analyses that can be performed, and identifying potential information requests for the sponsor, potential areas for clarification. Secondly, we load the data into tools for reviewer use and run automated analyses that improves the reviewer's efficiency in terms of setting up the tools and performing these common analyses. And last but not least, we provide analyses to highlight areas for further review. It benefits the reviewer in terms of pointing them to particular areas that may require deeper analysis. So we use SDTM data almost exclusively in the JumpStart service. We use the following domains. So we have two sessions. We have the data fitness session. It's about 2 weeks after we receive the application, and then we provide also the safety analysis session 2 weeks after the data fitness session. In the data fitness session, we analyze all of the domains, and for the safety analysis session, where we provide exploratory analyses, we primarily focus on 6 domains. So the demographics, disposition, exposure, lab, AE, and vital signs. We use the SDTM data in the following ways. So for the data fitness session, we use the data fit tool to go through and assess the quality of the domains. And then in the safety analysis session, we run automated analyses using the SAS analysis panels that we've provided the SAS scripts for you in previous years. And then we also perform analyses in additional tools such as JReview and MAID. So in terms of data from applications in JumpStart, so in addition to providing all of the benefits for the reviewers in terms of improving the quality and efficiency of the review, we've run this service for more than 2 years now. So we have data on the applications that have gone through the service, and we provided this data for you in the last PhUSE conference, and that's what the data that I'm going to be providing here for you today. So we have the total data from a total of 34 applications. These consist of 58 individual studies. So I do want to note that, of course, applications that are submitted typically have more than a couple of studies. So we don't have the bandwidth to go through every single study in the application. So we focus on the pivotal studies that are identified by the reviewer. These applications go across 14 review divisions, so that gives you a variety in terms of therapeutic areas and indications. So these are both NDAs and BLAs. So for last PhUSE, we provided data, so Austin provided data regarding 10 applications that were submitted from September 2014 to February 2015. Now we have more data. So we have data up until December 2000 of last year. So that comprises of 24 applications. And the data I'm going to be providing you today is regarding the total 34 applications. And I do want to note that the poster that we have up, poster number 20, the data quality findings from JumpStart, that actually provides data on the 24 applications. So you may actually see different percentages, but I'll be providing you data from the 34 applications. So, and I do want to note that this is a snapshot of the applications that we received in the Office of New Drugs. Not every application goes through JumpStart. So in terms of data quality issues that I'll be focusing on in my presentation, it's a wide range of issues, and so some of which we've been discussing in detail in the technical conformance guide, and also issues that we've noted after we've seen multiple applications in JumpStart. So these are issues that impact review. So I've categorized them in 5 main categories. So issues pertaining to the defined file, the study data reviewer's guide, the disposition domain, items that are already discussed in the technical conformance guide, and other high impact issues. So let's go through items, and I do want to note that a lot of these issues, so we only have metrics on a subset of these issues, and I'll be providing those in red. So issues regarding the defined file. So we really like to see more of the new version 2.0 that really helps assess the application. And of course, the impact of lacking a complete and well-delineated defined file greatly increases the amount of time reviewers spend understanding an application. So we would really like to see detailed description of data elements included in the defined file, and specifically detailed reproducible computational algorithms for all derived variables. So code lists that describe categories, subcategories, and reference time points, and applicable value level metadata and description of subqual domains, and adequate explanations of sponsor-defined identifiers. Lastly, separate unit code lists should be provided for each domain. So now, in terms of the SDRG, the Study Data Reviewer's Guide, we'll have an additional presentation later regarding this. But as delineated in the Technical Conformance Guide in Section 2.2, the SDRG should be provided for each data package with each section populated. So in terms of how the applications in JumpStart fared, so 35, so more than a third of the applications were missing or had incomplete SDRGs. So the impact is that this would increase the amount of time the reviewers need to spend understanding an application. But I do want to highlight that the missing DRGs are a small minority of the applications. So we recommend that all possible issues identified by the FDA validation rules be fixed, and in the SDRG include clear and detailed explanations for all non-fixable issues. And we find it useful when we see data flow diagrams that are provided that show traceability between data capture, storage, and creation of data sets. So now on to the disposition domain. This is where we see the most variability from submission to submission. And it's one of the most important domains in providing the protocol milestones. So these are 3 areas that I would like to highlight today. So it really is important to include time point information about the event in disposition records, not just when the event was recorded. So it's important that records regarding subject study completion be included, and also last follow-up contact with the subject in the disposition domain. It's important to accurately code reasons why the subject did not complete the study or study treatment. So now I'll talk about additional items that have been discussed in the Technical Conformance Guide. So trial design domains should be provided that are complete and accurate. So how did the applications from JumpStart do? Well, the trial summary domain was missing in 15% of the applications, of those 34 applications. There seems to be a trend towards improvement. So back in 2014, those 10 applications, that was 30%. 30% of the applications were missing the TS domain, and now it's down to 8%. But with the small sample size, it's hard to make definitive conclusions. So the epoch variable should be included in all appropriate domains. So how did the JumpStart applications fare? So it was missing in the majority of the applications. So this is missing in at least one of the domains. So baseline flags should be used in the lab and vital sign domains. So nearly a third of the applications, the baseline tests or flags were missing. So additional items, so CDISC control terminology variable should be used when available. And we did see control terminology issues in nearly 2/3 of the applications. Now, I want to emphasize that this is a conservative estimate. We don't have the bandwidth to look through every single control terminology variable, but these are areas, this percentage represents the time when there was a high impact or led to confusion for the reviewer. Seriousness criteria should be included for all serious adverse events. And in half of the application, this criteria was missing or had inconsistencies between the criteria and the SAE flag. The impact is that this is important for us to independently verify that the AEA was serious. So the study day variable should be included for all observational data sets as well. So other impact issues. So all duplicate records should be removed. We saw more than half of the applications had duplicate issues. And again, this is a conservative estimate, so we don't have the bandwidth to look through every single lab test and assess whether or not there was a duplicate. But this is when there was an impact on the review. So duplicate records in the lab, vital sign, and EG domains with potentially contradictory information make it difficult to summarize results. So we find it helpful when the AE treatment emergent flag is provided in the SUP-AE domain. However, it was missing in more than 2/3 of the application. So we recommend that standard units are converted consistently for laboratory data. 21% were missing or had inconsistent standard units for labs when the original units were given. This is not the issue in terms of converting from SI to US conventional units. This is just converting original units to any standard, so regardless of whether it's US conventional units or SI units. So we would like all AE codes provided in order to perform an adequate and accurate AE analysis. And 13% of the applications were missing at least one AE code or AE preferred term. So other issues. So we would like to have consistent subject death information across all data sets. So specifically demographics, adverse events, disposition, and comments. So we look for death information in terms of records by using death, died, or fatal. And we really would like to see death information consistent between DM, DS, and AE, and we do a reconciliation.